All right, I'm supposed to be doing useful things today, but I also need to record a video that can go up on Tuesday. So we are breaking out the Brandy Box once again. So the Brandy Box is a gimmick I introduced last year with two purposes. One was just to kind of work through some of the mass of like low proof great brandies I had lying around that I wasn't paying much attention to, and deserve some love, deserve some justice. And the other was just to be able to have a fun gimmick to crank out videos quickly when I don't have a lot of time to crank out videos sometimes. So a couple of brandies in the box. It's just great must brace brandies. I put the grappas and stuff elsewhere. All at low proof. I'm gonna add a drop of water or something to these before I try them. But otherwise, it's just try them blind, give them a score straight away, move on. I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm gonna try to do 3 or 4 of these things, and we'll see how it goes. All right. So what is gonna be the first brandy? I don't want to look at this. That'll be cheating. I am gonna go for. Okay, it is the Sophie Max Bertrand. 42.7%. Sophie Max number 3. This is a special bottling. I don't remember exactly the details, but it's a special bottling for I think it's Cognac-Expert. It's one of the European retail websites. So we're gonna get this thing poured. Bertrand, a terrific cognac producer. And again, 42.7%. I will provide more details down below, but right now we're just going to try to get some notes on the table. 3 drops of water, and let's go. On the nose, very cognac. Lots of just straight up raisin kind of nice raisins. This is not the crap like red box raisins. This is good stuff. This is, you went to Whole Foods and bought the organic raisins from like heirloom varietals. Certainly a fair bit of just straight up French oak kinds of notes on this. There's some, old, just like old furniture, old wood that you've kind of like just chopped up with an axe for fun. Anyone else do that? I do that. A little bit of like a toffee thing. Actually, some apple notes coming through, like dried apple cheese, one of my all-time favorite notes. Dates, prunes. So lots of dried fruit. That's kind of the theme here. I'm looking for like floral stuff. Maybe like one wildflower in there, but it's really pretty light on the flowers. A little white pepper. So it doesn't strike me as something that is. If this is super old, I do not remember the stats on this. I'm going to be dead honest with you. Why don't I have the bottle out here? I'm going to put the bottle over here somewhere. I don't have the stats on this, but my initial impression is there's a lot of oak on this, but isn't actually that old. It isn't bringing the kind of musty character that some of those fun tertiary notes I get from older cognacs. But it's very nice, and it's very, very, very just, it smells like a cognac. Like, I am never, ever missing this in a blind. It smells like a cognac. Nice. All right, on the palate. Again, doesn't feel super duper mega old. but there's oak on it. It feels developed. It feels old enough, put it that way. It doesn't feel like they just slammed a bunch of oak onto a 2-year-old. It feels like a youngish to middle-aged, very fruit-forward style of cognac. And a quite good one at that. Notes kind of follow the nose. Lots of raisin, lots of date. Not a lot of fig going on here, but there's prune. That little hint of apple. Less apple than on the nose. Apple cheese. Like a peach reduction thing, a little bit. White pepper. A little bit of that chopped up furniture, like old furniture thing. Kind of some stewed black tea, Irish breakfast tea. Decent development. Good mouth length. This is one of the problems with younger cognacs. Is everything happens up front. This is kind of filling up my entire mouth. Texture is okay. Finish kind of holds on. It's kind of a medium finish, but it holds on reasonably pretty well. And now that I'm paying attention to it, actually there's more flowers on the palate than there is on the nose, which is a little bit unusual, but I'm certainly not complaining. Yeah, there's some really nice kind of floral potpourri kinds of things coming out in the finish on this. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of it doesn't really feel like a borderies to me, but again, I'm speaking out of my butt. I don't know what is in this. I don't remember the stats at all. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was a fair bit of Grande Champagne Petite Champagne in this. Yeah, you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I like this. I'm going to give this... I'm not going to score it out of the park. I'm going to give this 84 points. 84 points for the Sophie and Max number 3 Bertrand, 42.7%, because that's all the information I see on this. Solid. Good start. Okay, moving on. I should really do this kind of same format with just a bunch of, just go outside of Chicago to where it is legal to buy 50 milliliter bottles still, because Chicago nixed that for the children, I guess. Just buy a whole bunch of crap, throw it in a box, and torture myself for your entertainment. But for now, we're doing stuff that I actually, bought in my right mind. All right, let's pick something fun here. Oh, Jesus. Whatever this is. Okay, this is one of the ones I was hoping I would pull, actually. It is the Montanaro Aquavite di Vino, 1974. I actually had an older version of this at some point, one from the 60s. I'll link that up down below. Now this bottle does note that as being note this as being 52%. I think that is wrong, because on my bottle and all the bottles I checked, it was all 40. But it is on some websites you will see 52%. But I'm pretty sure these are all 40. So this is a Italian. I wouldn't even say brandy. I would say eau de vie of wine. And mine was very characterful. So I'm hoping this one brings some of the same goodness. Oh, yeah. Very, very, very fun. Very weird. So right off the bat, I'm getting a ton of citrus stuff. I'm getting lemon, lime, orange. What is that? Almost some tropical fruit, but not unlike unripe tropical. So like an unripe mango actually comes to mind here. Ooh, that's fun. Certainly a lot of flowers, a lot of floral notes happening. Potpourri. Apricot. Oh, wow. There's a lot of apricot in this. How did I miss that? Tons. Gooseberry. And certainly a lot of... There's some stuff bordering on pomace brandy territory here. It isn't as intense as real pomace brandy, but it's kind of showing up. For example, there's a lot of tea leaves on this. Yeah, just like break open a bag of loose leaf, like herbal teas, and that there's a little bit of that going on. Some oriental tobaccos as well, like old aged oriental tobaccos. And now that I'm nosing it for a little bit, there's a musty hint. It's a little bit fusty, as Ralphie would say, like a little bit of like rotty mustiness. It's not. We're not quite getting into TCA like cork taint territory, but we're kind of like just doing a little nudge in that direction. And in context, it really just appears as a little bit of color. Nice. It's surprisingly vivid for something that I'm pretty sure is bottled at 40%. But if this burns my face off when I sip it, you will know that I'm wrong, and this is actually bottled as it says at 52. Let's see. No, I am pretty sure that's 40%. It's good though. This is very good. Yes, I remember the Montanaro that I had, the older brother to this, brings some of the same character of like, it's clearly a grape based thing, but there's enough kind of pomace brandy weirdness going on where I'm wondering, like, did they just throw whole grapes in here? Because there's some stemminess. There's like tea leaf notes, that oriental tobacco note there, which I just don't get on normal like grape must based brandy. So I don't know. Maybe they're throwing some pomace in there just for, or maybe this is aged in ex grappa barrels, something like that. I'm not really sure, but it's good. Where this has trouble is the finish. It really drops off pretty quick. Notes-wise, lots of citrus. Lemon, lime, again. Little kiwi in there. Nectarine. Mango, but unripe mango again. Orange, lots of orange. Like kind of bright sour orange, but also a little bit of like a marmalade thing. There's a little bit of a dessert character mixed in with this really intense freshness. Lots of flowers on the palate as well. And yeah, it's kind of mixed in with those kind of more fun, weird pomace brandy notes. There's some like grape stems in this, tea leaves, tobaccos, oriental tobaccos, but also like just maybe some like maybe like throw one like Balkan English style slightly smoky tobacco flake in there. Huh. And almost a, and that kind of like kind of fusty note, like musty, like almost musty furniture that's starting to get a little raw, but not too much. It's that a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Where this has trouble, I mean, I love the notes. I love like how this is built. Where this is having trouble is really the kind of the form of it. It like fills up. It does fill up my entire mouth. Good length, good kind of penetration happening. But there isn't really a whole lot of development. It's just kind of all the same. It just kind of it's all the same thing up front and then kind of spreading itself all over, and then it falls away pretty quickly. Let me give this one more shot. Yeah, tricky to score. The proof is definitely hurting this. If it was actually 52%, this would be very, very good. This would be pushing into the high 80s for me. As it is, oh man, what do I give this? I'm going to call this an 86 out of 100. Did I get this drop of water? I should give this drop of water. Hold on, I'm going to give this drop of water, and then we'll see. Try it one more time, see if anything changes. I gave the Bertrand a drop. Only fair to do the same with this. Changes in the course of the 5 seconds past my adding water to this. No, not really. There's a little, maybe a hair bit more of a pepperiness creeping through. Almost a cumin note. Not really. On the palate. Actually, with a drop of water, believe it or not, the finish kind of holds on a little bit longer. Yeah, well, wonders never cease. I like this. It's a style that I really enjoy the style. I don't know exactly what they're doing to make this, but it kind of works for me. The only problem this has, it just needs more strength. Score wise, I'm gonna call this an 86 plus. I'm gonna be it feels a little bit generous, and maybe it is, but that's kind of where I am in terms of my sense of the quality on this. If the finish was just a little bit longer, like this would be up into the higher 80s, but it's just not there. One more time. Yeah, just a really good, complex, deep, thinking drinkers kind of style. All right, moving on. Let's do a couple more. Maybe just one more. I don't know. Where are we at? 18 minutes or so? 19 minutes. Okay. Doing all right. Let's do another Bertrand. This was not planned. Bertrand XO. This is the lot XX0102, bottled at 42%. Bertrand, again, a cognac producer. I vaguely remember this being pretty darn old, but again, I will put whatever information I can find down below, kind of after the fact. All right, so we are back to cognac. Let's see if I can still taste it after the assault of the Montanaro. There we go. Wait, I should give this some water, shouldn't I? So first of all, it smells much older. I am starting to get the rancio thing, that, kind of old furniture meets, you know, like mushrooms growing in a cellar kind of thing. Yeah, at least in the nose, my impression, again, I could be wrong completely. I'm doing this from the hip. My initial impression is a much, much older spirit than the first Bertrand we had. This could have been as old as maybe 15, 20 years. I don't even think it's that old. I would guess more closer to 10 or so. This feels more like a 30-plus-year-old kind of brandy. Yeah, so we're getting, actually there's some similar notes in this. There's some like raisins, but good raisins, golden raisins, nice raisins. Nectarine, actually a little bit of apricot, apple cheese, prunes, touch of fig, but not too much. But I'm also getting a lot more floral notes, and intense, like musty cellar, old furniture kinds of stuff. Like, yeah, it just screams old spirit to me. That doesn't necessarily make it better. It just makes it old spirit. Although in this case, I think there's more going on. Yeah, lots of black pepper. Some, like, I want to say sweet tea, but it's as if you use sweet tea with like some more complex, you know, varietals. So you like mixed a little bit of Darjeeling in with your Liptons while you were stewing it on your, you know, like your South Carolina, you know, porch. Actually a little bit of nutmeg going on. Cinnamon. Yeah, I'm into this. It just smells like a very classical old cognac. I would guess, again, Petite Champagne or Grande Champagne. It doesn't really say borderies to me, and the fact that flowers are there though does, yeah, that would be my guess. Fine Champagne in any case. On the palate. This is another one. Maybe this is just a general flaw with the Brandy Box setup, where a little bit more strength would so elevate this. So elevate this. It's like I am completely into where this is going. It's like, ooh, I love those notes. And then it just kind of falls off on me a little bit. Give me a chance to kind of get used to this. Hold on. Yeah, it just needs more power. But I do like what's here. So we're doing that kind of Petite Champagne, Grande Champagne thing. It's this balance of fruit power and those little floral details. What are we getting? We are getting a lot of dried fruit. All the fruit I named before, I'm not going to go through that again. That's all here, along with a ton of black pepper and a ton of just like intense like wood tannins, tea tannins, overstewed tea, but like really nice overstewed tea. Like you bought the world's best Darjeeling blend and just like steeped it for half an hour, and you drank and you were like, that's way too oversteeped, but I'm kind of into it anyways. That's kind of what this tastes like. there's actually a ton of power to this. And then that kind of musty furniture with like mushrooms growing on it kind of thing. Rancio, for lack of a better term. And some floral notes. A little potpourri happening as a little bit of a halo. But the finish just kind of fades too quickly. Arrival is fine. Good development. Mouth length is a hair bit sketchy. It kind of stops right at my molars, actually. It feels like it should be going further, but it kind of stops right there. And then it holds on pretty nicely. And really like the tannins, those keep holding on. But everything else, the fruit, the flowers, everything else falls away pretty quickly. And I think that's just down to the strength of this. Score-wise, it's still pretty darn good. I think I like the Montanaro. It has a lot of the same problems as the Montanaro. I feel like the Montanaros bring a hair bit more complexity and depth. But once you get past the notes and start thinking about the form and the difficulties with the form of these two last glasses, a lot of similarity. I'm going to give this an 86. 86 out of 100. And we got time? Yeah, oh, screw it. We'll do one more. We shall do one more. One more grab into the brandy box. Let me have some water. I set a bunch of glasses here. All right, what are we going to do? We're going to do whatever this is. This is the... oh, fuck. This is the Dudognon Heritage. Yeah, so, and you were saying right now, wait a minute, you did the Dudognon Heritage in the last brandy box. Yes, I did. But this is the Braulio from the 1970s, which is apparently a different bottling. I don't really know. And there's some tape all over this. Whatever, we'll work through it. So we are comparing so another cognac in the mix here. But you know what? We're going to do it. Let's pour this. It's bottled at 41%. I will put further information down below. And so Dudognon, fantastic producer. I'm going to give this a little bit of water, like not a whole lot. I mean, this is old stuff, like 2 drops. I think they're Grande Champagne produced, based Heritage Braulio. I've forgotten most of the details of the stuff in this box. And with this one and all the rest of these, I will put them down below. But for now, let's just give it some notes. Dudognon also, incidentally, my favorite term of endearment among the new bro Gen Zs. Hey, Dudognon, how you doing? Yeah, that's not happening. Sorry, Dudognons. On the nose. Oh. Yeah, I sometimes I just really love cognac. Like, I love the... Oh, where do I start with? So, In some ways, I could name a lot of the same notes that I named with the Bertrand XO here, because there are a lot of the same notes. Certainly prune. There's a lot of fig here. Fig and fig Newtons. Dried cherry, apricot, peaches. Actually, a lot of stewed peach on this. A lot more flowers on the nose of this one. So yeah, a lot of the same notes, but it's really heading off in its own direction at the same time. It's there's still a sense of an old brandy. It's still bringing rancio, but it's a different kind of rancio. This isn't really like rotting old furniture. It's almost more like walking into a forest after a rainstorm. It's that kind of thing. If there was a ton of fruit there and some flowers. Yeah, it's really the like peaches with a bunch of flowers thrown in. I mean, like some old school post-war perfume happening. Figs, 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 figs. All the figs. Raisins, dates, bringing up the rear. Lots of wood, teas. Really nice. Also really kind of suggests Grande Champagne. Maybe Petite Champagne, but I'm really getting a Grande Champagne kind of vibe here. It's really actually quite stately. The most stately fig Newton in the world. Imagine like a fig Newton riding like a huge Mercedes-Benz convertible in the 60s. That's kind of what this smells like. And I'm into it. On the palate. And again, you have that kind of endemic problem with these, with the whole brandy box of, man, these would be better if they were just bottled a little bit stronger. But on first impression, I'm a little bit more impressed with this than I am with the Bertrand XO. Let's go back to it, though. They're actually very close. Let me try the Bertrand one more time. This is a little bit more dark and drying, the Bertrand is. The Dudognon here is more fruity, it's more floral. Just stellar examples of this genre. Oh man. So what impresses me, actually more than the previous two, is the way that the finish, the tannins are not as aggressive as on the Bertrand. They don't hang on as long. But everything else actually hangs on longer with the Dudognon than with the Bertrand, and maybe even with the Montanaro. I want to go back and try that again. Notes, lots of stewed peach, nectarine, stone fruit, all day long. With the fig Newton definitely in the house, black pepper, a lot of stewed tea once again. But it's not like aggressively over stewed tea. This is just normal like stewed tea, like really intense, like high quality stewed black tea. And let's not forget to mention a lot of flowers on this as well. I'm running out of time. I got to wrap this up. Peppery. And just that. But in all of that, it's really the character of the Rancio here that's impressing me. It's not rotting furniture with mushrooms growing off it kind of Rancio. It's really like, like musty, like forest after a rainstorm kind of Rancio. And that, maybe those are very similar. I don't. They feel there's a different vibe. I don't know. The Bertrand feels darker. It feels more serious and aggressive, and this feels a little bit more mellow, and it feels a little bit more expansive. It's kind of the same thing, but like this feels like it's had a little bit more time to figure itself out. So if you will, Ming the Merciless, Immortus. I think that's it. It's the Ming the Merciless that happens at the end. Whatever. It's that version of Ming. Thank you for my Marvel reference. What am I gonna score this? I mean, the quality is actually very, very high. Again, it's being held back by the strength it's bottled at. Let me try the Montanaro, because I think I like this better than the Montanaro, but not by that much. The Montanaro brings a little bit more complexity to it, but the Dudognon has a little bit better of a finish, or a more complex, lengthy finish. I'm going to give this 87 out of 100. But I'm going to be honest with you. I could see anyone, like, of these three, I could see anyone picking any of these as the best of the lot. Like, and I would call that totally fair. All very, very, very good brandies. The first Bertrand, it's fine. But yeah, the Montanaro, really cool, really interesting. Just needs more strength. The Bertrand XO, really dark, very serious, grippy, aggressive, old school cognac. Just needs more strength. Dudognon Heritage, more fruity, more kind of mellow, but at the same time, like, deep expression of cognac. Just needs more strength. And yeah, that's the video. So what do we got? The Sophie and Max number 3 Bertrand, 84 points. I gotta get going. The Montanaro 1974, 86 plus. The Bertrand XO, 86. And the Dudognon Heritage Braulio 1970s gets an 87 flat. And that's the video. Thanks for watching, and cheers.